Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.
Fall in.
Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good with you this morning? This is your boy Trey, and you're rocking with E2G Sports Networks presents First Formation's Morning Sports Talk. So come on and fall in with us as we get to talking about some things that popped up over the course of the last 24 hours. We might take it back a little bit. We might forecast a little bit. It's all good. As always, it's all sports. No, not all sports. We get to talk about anything. It's for the culture, people. So again, what's going on with y'all? To all my brothers and sisters and all those others that celebrate happy Black History Month. Although it's a whole vibe the whole year, but this month is specific for you. We're gonna talk about that. I think that's a conversation to be had one day at one point. Most definitely. So of course, y'all know is gearing up. Just a matter of days from SuperBowl 57 being culminating with a new champion. As we know, of course, the Los Angeles Rams are not present. Cincinnati Bengals not present. Unfortunately, San Francisco not present. Kansas City's there though. Some of the top four from last year. So of course, all in all, when you come down to it, it's all good, all love when you look at it. So, you know what I'm saying? Come on, enjoy this. If you're out there making breakfast right now, be sure to tap in. If you're out there driving in your on your way to morning commute, be sure to tap in. If you're just sitting at your desk in your cubicle, tap in, fall in. Of course, if you're watching from YouTube, hey, it's a subscriber button right to your bottom left-hand corner, depending on what perspective you're looking at it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe. First Formation of Morning Sports Talk. So, what's good, Seven? What's good, fam? What's good? Hey, check this out. On Thursday, I know y'all have heard me and Bishop talk about it before. Thursday morning, you're going to have Seven Mitchell from the Best of Seven Sports Talk. He's going to tap in. Of course, he's going to also be the special moderator for the First Formation rendition of the NBA All-Star Game. I will be picking for First Formation West, Bishop for First Formation East, since he reps the Brooklyn squad, and I represent LA, Best of LA. So be sure to tap in. That should be a whole vibe. Y'all know how we do on First Formation. But like I said, first and foremost, before I get to it, just for a second, let's make sure we send out our love prayers for those families. Not necessarily sports related. It can be because, of course, one of many of the athletes from the Ghana football team, or the GBA, were affected by this, but a huge 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit the Turkey and Syrian areas. Of course, thousands of buildings toppled. If you've never been in an earthquake before, then you probably wouldn't know what that's like. But 7.8, that's crazy. That's enormous. Of course, it's done a lot of damage, in which people are still under rubble. Of course, they already estimate 5,000 of people have perished and lost their lives. So just to keep that in perspective, make sure that your hearts and prayers and things go out in reference to that. Crazy, like I said, earthquakes. When I think about national disasters in my life, I've been in a couple of hurricanes. Of course, being from California, I've been in earthquakes. being in the military, being in Korea, I've been around monsoon season. Um, any case, all I'm survivor. I'm here sitting here talking to you about it now. So, but it's crazy. It's not anything to play with, those earthquakes, and that was a 7.8. I don't know, 7.8, especially in around those areas, especially where you have low, um, impoverished areas, shanties, homes built on stilts, or homes built in certain areas. Is no way survival is diminished greatly. So of course, prayers out to that. If you can, I guess do what you can to provide or help out once it starts rolling in, to help that torn area, uh, as people usually come together at those times of need. But of course, getting back into this, where do I start? You know what? Let's get into what was last night, because tonight, you know what song comes to my mind? Tonight is the night when you become a scoring champion. You take first place on the all-time list. What's good, Coach Cal? What's going on with you, brother? Glad to see you formation this morning. I know you're relishing and having a good time. What do you feel about Kyrie rocking now? Luka's. We was just having this conversation last week, Coach Cal, about Luka getting a running mate. Even the conversation about Kyrie, and look up jumps the boogie. Kyrie is a maverick. Cal, what you think? Is that the push? Did your Christmas come early or late? I guess you could say it's closer to the end of the year, end of last year, than it is to the end of next year. This year. So, what do you think, Coach Cal? How you feeling about Luka Doncic and the Kyrie Irving connection now? But like I said, tonight's that night. Potentially, is more than likely LeBron James gets the opportunity to surpass our beloved Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most points in NBA history. All he needs is 36 points to surpass. That could be child's work. They play the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. I'll be truthfully tell you that I would prefer for them to get a W tonight as opposed to LeBron getting those 36 points, unless them 36 points are coupled with a W. I take it. Christmas came early. He said, we haven't snagged a big fish for free agency or trade in decades. Not happening tonight. It'll be Thursday versus the team that drafted Kareem. You know what? I think that'll do well for the script writers, Coach Cal, and we're gonna get to that in a second. Talk about the scripts that has been coming up of lately. Players coming out saying that they know things are scripted. So of course, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't even on my slate, but it's easy to set up and tap it in. So of course, and we're gonna get back to, of course, Coach Cal, and referencing his the conversation which we was just talking about, what his feelings are having brung Kyrie Irving into the mix, and what he thinks, of course, was going to be on tap. So, first and foremost, like I said last night, 8 games in the NBA. First, starting off with Cleveland Cavaliers, hell of a game last night, walloping the Washington Wizards on their home court at the score of 114-91. The Cavaliers led by not one but 2 players with 23 points apiece. Jared Allen, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Darius Garland contributed with 23 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists from Donovan Mitchell as he returns back to the court. Evan Amobi, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists from Karis LeVert. Also, C. Osman contributed with 3 points, 2 points apiece from Morale, Neto, and Lamar Stevens, as well as Robin Lopez. In a losing effort, however, the Wizards was led by Kristaps Porzingis, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for Deni Avdija. 15 points, 6 rebounds. Will Barton turning back the hands at the time a little bit, getting back to that game in which he used to provide and show us in Denver. 8 points. Kendrick Nunn he was newly acquired just 2 or 3 weeks ago from the Los Angeles Lakers. 6 points from Taj Gibson. With the win, of course, Cleveland keeps pace 34-22 on the year as we get closer and closer. Just 2 weeks away from the NBA All-Star break. Washington drops 5 games below 500 with a 24-29 record. Keeping their foot on the gas, I guess you could say semi on the gas when you look at it. The Boston Celtics was hosted by the Detroit Pistons, with the Celtics getting a 12-point W, winning 111-99. In the losing efforts, of course, the team led by Bojan Bogdanovich's 21 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist on the night. 17 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists from Killian Hayes. 14 points apiece. Sadiq Bey, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. And Jaden Ivey, 14 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. Jalen Duren, the other rookie, standout for the Pistons, 7 points, 14 rebounds, no assists. Isaiah Stewart, 10 points, 12 rebounds for his double-double on the night. Alec Burke contributed with 5 points. 5 points from Isaiah Livers and 6 points from Hamidou Diallo. In all losing efforts, the Celtics, however, led by 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. Basically, Jason Tatum dropping off at the rim. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists from Derek White. 15.6 rebounds, 1 assist from Sam Hauser. 15 points, 15 rebounds, 2 assists, Robert Williams III. Malcolm Brogdon contributed with 16 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. 3 points from Peyton Pritchard, and Grant Williams with 2 points on the night. As, like you said, the Boston Celtics gets the W, winning 111-99. Boston still doing their thing, of course. But when you look at it, I've said it from day one, they've had a pretty potent squad from the inset. It just we hadn't seen it in action yet. Now we see it in action, and we got to look at last night. We even see Jaylen Brown in the game, which is another person. Marcus Smart is out, another person. So they still have what we could presume as the Bears of Riches to continue to push their agenda in the East, getting to the number 1 spot in the league. But of course, that kind of doesn't make a difference when you look at it, because ones have failed them before. But it sounds good. It's all good. It becomes a whole different level once the playoffs start. And at this point, Boston is just jockeying to keep in that number 1 spot. More games tapped out. The Los Angeles Clippers faced off against the newly constructed, somewhat, Brooklyn Nets. And of course, what was meant to happen will happen or shall happen, in which the Clippers, unfortunately, was able to take care of the Brooklyn Nets, hosting Brooklyn Nets by a score of 116-24. Not shabby, I guess you can see when you think about it, in the losing efforts, of course. Cam Thomas. Check this man out. Watch this man. LSU graduate representative from Louisiana, the state of Louisiana. 47 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in cleanup duty. Now without their big 3, that being Kyrie Irving, now a Maverick, KD sitting out with injury, and Ben Simmons out with injury. Cam Thomas picks up the slack. Just wasn't enough. But like I said, he drops 47 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists from Ebner Sumner. 15 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists from Royce Neal. Joe Harris, 6.6 rebounds, 3 assists. 15 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist from Nick Claxton. TJ Warren, 8 points on 1 rebound on the night. 2 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists from Juice Smith. Deron Sharp, 2 rebounds. As the Nets tried, they gave what they could. They gave it all. They're all. But when you even look at that, it looks like they're going to be in pretty good hands once KD comes back, once Ben Simmons gets back on the floor, him and Ben, and kind of like rectify that. Of course, it remains to be seen how Dorian Smith they can play. He's another tool to the shed. Brooklyn might not be that bad. They might not stay. They should be in the playoffs. Definitely a playoff contender, in my opinion. So, so Coach Cal, that is a good question. We have seen an outpour of tremendous scoring proportions in the last couple of weeks, where you even have players like you just said, 47 points from Cam Thomas, up and coming. But I mean, is he that dude like that when he dropping 47? Does he drop that 47 if Kyrie was there? If KD was there? Of course not. Maybe not. But I mean, to rectify, do you think it's a ref problem, or do you, from what I understand, sometimes the refs get their marching orders to where, of course, I think some people believe that a high-scoring game is going to be more of an exciting game. Is going to be one of those games that put more butts in seats and going to be dictated of, just like we used to talk about scripts and stuff like that. That could be some of the situation, like especially when you have a situation where you're not going to have people locking down people for the most part. We talking about 240-point score last night, just along in the Brooklyn Nets game versus the Los Angeles Clippers. So I don't know, Coach Cal, if it could be a situation to where I don't know if it's a ref issue, or is it a league issue, or is it the league putting out certain things like let them play a little bit. Or is it just like you said, or it could be defense, or is it other teams' problem where there's no defenses, and these teams is not anything on the refs or the league. It's just a simple fact that the defenses aren't what they used to be. Yes, but in terms of a coach of competitive, and I believe you, Coach Cal, I am there with you. I think competitiveness is where it's really at. You want to see the grit and the grind. In a sense, I think we have a little bit of competitiveness with how close the teams are in their from the records for the most part. Although, I mean, yes, the worst team is about 24 points behind the top team in both divisions. But I mean, the middle of the packs is where it's at. And that's where you see, as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, we should see more and more of that. But I definitely agree with you. There is a lacking, and no one wants to just see complete blowouts and blowouts and blowouts. But to see a high scoring game, the excitement, high flying, and all that in a competitive game in itself is where is you want to see that. Or it might be like, yo, someone sees that and be like, you know what? I'm trying to go to the next Pelicans game to check these cats out. So I could agree with you. You can't play defense. They score and get called for a foul due to flopping, so they alter their defensive fundamentals. So I think they're trying. I know one of the things in which I came across is that the NBA is definitely trying to alleviate the whole flopping thing. But I mean, flopping has been there a good amount of time. You got to think people take charges, or hence the reason why there's a charge. But I think it's just a uptick, a tremendous uptick in that portion of of the gameplay where everyone is trying to take charge, or everyone is trying to gain that advantage by someone drawing. No different from in NFL with the pass interference and defensive holds and all that type of stuff, or getting pass interference. However, in the NFL is not as costly because there's no fouls given, or you're not set up to assess a warning or a notification that if you get called for a defensive or offensive interference, pass interference, that you're going to be subjected to something that's going to alleviate you from being in the game. In the NBA, it's one of those, just like hack and shack was a thing. The flop is a thing, basically on if you can sell it right, then you can potentially draw a foul or have a foul drawn on the opponent, which alludes to them picking up a personal foul, which alludes to 6 of those things, and they're no longer a part of the game. So I think it's all in strategy. I think, but what needs to happen is everyone needs to stop with it to a degree. Like some stuff is just you're not going to get away with. Other things you won't. We know LeBron is considered a huge flopper. He flops a lot, but it's all over the league. Just some people do it more than others, and some get away with it more than others. On to our next game, the San Antonio Spurs facing off against the Chicago Bulls. So before we get to this particular point, right, with the Bulls, I see so many things in reference to like supposedly Zach LaVine is that dude in which they're trying to get. Not just particularly that dude for the most part, but that particularly the aforementioned the Brooklyn Nets are particularly after Zach LaVine, trying to get their hands on him. I don't know if this to be true. I know it was a while back in which I would have loved to have seen Zach LaVine in the purple and gold. But is he past that point? Is Zach past that point where he's could be that coveted to be a player that someone wants to get their hands on? Um, I don't know. Of course, some of the things was that the Chicago Bulls uh, were looking to potentially do a trade with the New York Nets, in which they said they were not interested in acquiring Ben Simmons. However, they were open to a trade that would include Patty Mills, Joe Harris, Royce O'Neal, and or Seth Curry and picks. In the scheme of things, is that an effective trade? Is there a possibility for something to be put together in which the Brooklyn Nets, just for Zach LaVine, like, is that worth it? What's good, Anthony? You like to see information with us this morning. You said Anthony he said Suns are going after KD. So yes, I can see going after KD, but getting KD is a complete different story. I don't foresee it. Lonzo Ball and his 2-year injury has really messed up the team's plans. I can see that because at one point we looked at it and we thought like this was going to be a squad, and of course, injuries, derailments. When it comes down to the buy-in for players to sit up and take care of their bodies, of course, I think Lonzo Ball didn't do what he was supposed to do effectively in taking care of his body. Of course, I think that could be seen as a ploy as well as figure like this ain't the deal in which I wanted. I'm gonna find my way out. Maybe that's a little more given to a situation that wasn't the case. Like he's dastardly in that daring to sit up and concoct a scheme to where he said, I'm going this injury up in the ride out for the next 2 years. And by the time I come back, it'll be time for my for me to be out. So I'll bounce or I'll force a trade. In which the Lonzo's Ball came up as well as a potential trade for Russell Westbrook. Lonzo Ball, a trade that's in Russell Westbrook to the Chicago Bulls for Alonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, and I forgot who else. It was another player, which they supposedly said going to the Lakers for the draft picks. Russell Westbrook and I forget who was the other player. I think they said Lonnie Walker the fourth or something like that. Well, it's only a couple days to the end of the draft. To the end of the deadline, February 9th, 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. Correction, Eastern Central Standard Time of 2:00. So we have yet to be seen. Anthony Price said nobody wants Simmons. I don't know. I ain't gonna say nobody wants him. I just think no one wants the current Simmons. It's not no one wants him because in state is when he's on to a certain degree where he's effective. He may not be that star, but he's a big enough of a pool to where it's like, okay, we can do some damage with him. That's what they're lacking. The Simmons of yesteryear. The Simmons is old, and that's the Simmons of which no one wants. But if we get the effective Simmons, even sometimes like you got to give something to a guy that can give you 13 rebounds, 13 assists, but no points. But if he's got 13 assists, then that means at least 26 to 39 points have been scored off them 13 assists. Not to mention it could be a little more if you add an and one here and there. So we gotta sit up and think about sometimes like he may not give those tangible attributes, but some of the other stuff which he does is very handily accepted. It just depends on the team, Coach Cal. So I take it there's no takers for Ben Simmons out there. That's people that's rocking with us this morning. Ben Simmons in any other uniform except for Brooklyn right now. So, Coach Cal, I ask you this. You wouldn't take Ben Simmons in Dallas right now, is what you're telling me? To team up with Christian Wood. You wouldn't trade JaVale McGee And goodness gracious, you wouldn't trade JaVale McGee and I know you wouldn't give him Maxi Kleber, so I'm not going to even add him. But JaVale McGee and anyone else on that roster, 2 players to acquire Ben Simmons head up if the money was working. Ben Simmons, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Christian Wood. He said JaVale McGee and Davis Bertrand. What's good, Pratt? What's going on, Marcus? How you good? Glad to see your information with us this morning, brother. So yeah, so there's someone to take Ben, and he could go somewhere where he could probably do damage. And maybe it's just not. He was in Philly, and I attest that I believe that a large market is not good for Ben, only specifically because that pressure of being in a large market and being a contributor or giving to his team is not where he's at right now, obviously. So it needs to be a situation to where he's at so he can grow in that and he can set up and produce. He did that in Philly for a degree of time. And then once he wasn't productive as a Philadelphian would have expected or thought, they started to pile down on him. His teammates piled down on him. And that wasn't conducive to him, his growth. And he folded under it. Just like we was talking about earlier about the earthquakes. He had an internal earthquake, and when all that collapsed on him, and now that old Ben Simmons is sitting in there under the rubble, trying to make his way back. Which you've seen it in Brooklyn, in my opinion, to where they were trying to do what they can by basically giving him love and showing him admiration and, speaking and like, okay, he's going to continue giving him time. And maybe that's what he needs, but he probably needs it a little bit more than what people expected. So now at this point, everyone is starting to I think it's starting to fold and collapse on him again to where the people are feeling like, yo, he should be a lot further ahead of this situation than he is now. And he's saying it's a mental aspect. It takes time, just like we talk about putting the team together. It takes time to get chemistry into jail. It's going to take a little time for Ben Simmons to get back to the point to where he feels like he's effective as a player. And now it's going to get to the point to where, and that's a little more added on until when you look at like, yo, this kid is suiting out. We need a player now. Like I went to JBLM with the idea of I was supposed to be an instructor at the schoolhouse at the NCO Academy. When I got there, I was on profile because of the injury I had, and plus I was overweight. So due to my profile and me being overweight, it wasn't going to work out for me to sit up and go to the schoolhouse. It was like they said they didn't have time for me to recover. They didn't have time. They needed people on the stand right then and there. And I wasn't within compliance at the time. So, of course, just like a team would do, they shipped me out to another place, in which I ended up at the DFAC in First Corps, working at the one of the dying facilities under the CG. So, it worked. I got traded for once. I got sent with one team. I didn't meet the specifications for the physical specifications, and so they was like, yo, we can't use you right now. We can't wait. We're gonna see where else can send you. And they sent me on about my business. I went over to First Corps. I left NCO Academy to First Corps. So it happens in times. It said Ben Simmons went from an all-star to a chump. Come on, Trey, he won't shoot, nor does he work to get fouled. Would the Lakers take him? The Lakers would take him. I ain't gonna lie. I would take Ben Simmons because I think he gives other things. But again, I think that's not a good market for him. Being in LA is not going to be the most effective thing for him at that particular time. So yes, I would take him in LA, but nah, it's not. I don't think that's the best place for him because, as we just talked about, I think the pressures of what the media is going to put on him is going to be hella ineffective at the point in which he's not going to be effective anymore, and he'll fall back. But we got to do it. I think it will send him back to Philly for Tobias, let him face the source and Doc. Ugh, that's definitely not. I wouldn't do that. I think that would be. I don't think anyone's doing that, Cal. I don't think no one's biting on that one. Issues and closed door apology. Nah, I don't think that's going to be effective in any way, form, or fashion. They could get that and don't have to even be there. But as we did see, Tobias Korkmaz did come out and say that he wanted to trade, saying that he's not being used effectively. So he said that was when I seen that was a shocker. I was like, who would have thought Korkmaz? I was like, does he get that type of utilization where he could basically come out and said, I want to trade? Come on, fam. But I mean, he's one of the 450 players that plays in the league every year, and so I guess he can. I get that, Coach Cal. I'm just saying I would take him because saying the idea is that you're bringing other, like, all this is based on the fact that you're bringing in what you need. You would think that LA would bring in shooters to help them, in which they're going after. It's blood in the water. It's definitely blood in the water at this point, and which we're going to get to a little more in the NBA. Let me get through the rest of these scores. So we left off Chicago Bulls playing against the San Antonio Spurs. Bulls with the W winning 128-104. Another 20-point drubbing, another high-scoring game, as we talked about earlier. Coach Cal in the losing efforts. Of course, you got to expect this, but Keldon Johnson putting up 21 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists from Malachi Branham, 11 points, 3 assists, Josh Richardson, 9 points from Kiat Date, 5 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with that. Jakob Pato, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Blake Wesley, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Doug McDermott, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Stanley Johnson, 3 trades, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Yesterday was the day of the Roku, and I completely left it out. Shame on me. Shout out to my Rokus. See that things y'all up. Zach Collins, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist for Isaiah Robley, and Dominic Barlow with 4 points, 1 rebound. In all the winning efforts, a lot going on last night. Chicago Bulls led by Nikola Vucevic's 22 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists from the aforementioned Zach LaVine, 19 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists from the homie DeMar DeRozan. Shout out to the hub. 11.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Patrick Williams. Ayo Damansu with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 12 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists from Kobe White, 21 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist from Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond is coming on. That's another player that won at one point. Yeah, thank you, Coach Cal. Andre Drummond signs for real. Like, and to sit up and think, LA had him, even though it was short-lived. He was cleaning the boards a little bit, but he wasn't effective as a scorer. But again, the people have went through LA, and this is where we're at currently. Shooters, I understand. Shooters. That's what I have to keep in mind. Shooters. Goran Dragic, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 points apiece from Dallin Terry and Tony Bradley to amount to the 128-104 win. 26-27 for the Bulls right now. It's just in the midst of them for them to grab that 500 going into the All-Star weekend. Maybe better. Unfortunately, not the same thing for the San Antonio Spurs, as they will need the whole season, the remainder of the season, to get back, as they are currently 14-40, but they are in prime position to win the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. But that's just, again, on paper. It looks good, sounds good. We will see how that ends up turning out. In other games, four other games on the slate, as the Kings did battle, just like Coach Cal was talking about, the 120-140 games against the Rockets, as the Rockets fall by 20 points in 120 points scored. But it wasn't enough. When you hear 120, you think 120 is like, yo, 120, they must have won. But that's not the case. They lost by 20. Sacramento Kings put up 140 points, 260 points on the night scored in the Rockets' losing efforts, led by Jalen Green's 27 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist from Keelan Martin Jr. 16 points, 8 assists from the veteran Eric Gordon. 15.7 rebounds, 7 assists from Alperen Sengun. Jabari Smith contribute with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 points from Josh Christopher, 6 from Bruno Fernando. 2 points apiece from Darius Days and Ty Washington. Usan Garuba, 3 points as well. And lastly, Terry Eason with 4 points, 5 rebounds, and Jashawn Tate, 9 rebounds, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in their losing efforts. The Kings, led by rookie Keegan Murray's 30 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist outing, 20 points from Malik Young, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 rebound to go along with that. Darren Fox, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. Kevin Huerter, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Trey Lyles, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist from Davian Mitchell. Harrison Barnes, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And Keon Ellis, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. As the Kings take out the Houston Rockets, 140 to 120. With that, the Kings, 7 games above 500, sitting at 30-23. The Rockets, just a little bit better than the San Antonio Spurs, but not too much. 13-41 in the year. Again, another contested in another car in the race for the victor. A sweepstakes. Going on, tapping in. Next game, of course, we'll cover the Milwaukee Bucks due to play the Lakers on Thursday night. If LeBron doesn't eclipse what we're looking for. In any case, even if LeBron does or doesn't, games still got to be played, and they will continue to be played. This particular game, the Portland Trailblazers hosted the Milwaukee Bucks with the score at the end of the regulation, 127 to 108. However, the home team was not successful in the defense of the home court. Trailblazers in the losing efforts, 28 points from Dame Lillard, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 21 points, 5 assists from Anthony Simons, 13 points, 3 rebounds from Jeremy Grant. The Josh Hart contributed 14 points, 8 rebounds on the night. 8 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist from Nasir Little. Gary Payton II, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Trendon Walford, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 3 rebounds, 3 assists from Shaedon Sharpe. And Drew Rebanks contributed 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. All in that losing effort. The Bucks was led by Giannis Antetokounmpo's double-double, 24 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. Brook Lopez, however, put in a 27-point, 9 rebound night, contributed by Drew Holiday's 20 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists from Chris Middleton as he continues to get his legs underneath him. I think it's going to be a problem later on when Chris Middleton gets locked in. Javon Carter, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 points. Additionally, Clemens Porter is missing as well. So another team that's kind of deep when you look at it. Grayson Allen, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, but he can get off at times. 6 points, 4 rebounds. Wesley Matthews, pause on that Grayson Allen comment. Thanos Antetokounmpo, 1 rebound on the night as well as for Sandro. Ingles contributed 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in their game as well. Pat Connaughton, 11 points, 4 rebounds. Now, you know what? When I think about it, I don't know what y'all think about it. Brook Lopez, I think Brook Lopez is an underrated player. I think Portis is an underrated player, as well as Mason Plumlee, an underrated player. That's all. That's the comment. They're underrated. With the win, of course, the Milwaukee Bucks improved to 37-17, 20 games above 500. Don't see them falling off. The Portland Trailblazers just 2 games back of 500, in which puts them definitely in the position where they're going to be in the play-in race. If not even the best to the 6th seed to come out the play-in. Of course, more to come on that, of course, of the year. 2 games below 500 with other teams that probably going to start turning it up after the All-Star break, in which teams are going to have to really dial in to hold their position or get left. 2 more games, of course. The Golden State Warriors playing one of their first games without Steph, as Steph is expected to be out till the middle of February, if not beyond. Made short work of the Oklahoma City Thunders on their home court, winning 141-114. Yet another high-scoring game, 255 points total. In the losing effort, the Thunders led, of course, by none other than their all-stars, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, 20 points, 4 assists on the night, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist by Aaron Wiggins on the to help him out. 18 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist from Trey Mann, 15.7 rebounds, 8 assists from Josh Giddey, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists from Kendrick Williams, 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist from Jaden Williams. 8 points, 2 rebounds from Lindsey Waters III. Darius Beatty contributed with 3 points, and last Amarayu contributed with 3 points and 3 rebounds for the Golden State Warriors. For the Oklahoma City Thunder. Klay Thompson popped off last night, 42 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. A clear and concise plan B for the Warriors now that with Steph currently being out, like Coach Cal was just saying, definitely stat chasing with the 3. Game was all the way out of reach with him sitting on 9 threes. Hey, shooters going to shoot, Coach Cal. Shooters going to shoot. So I guess you're saying you would have pulled him out the game at that point? Like you said, Klay Thompson, 42 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Jordan Poole, 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 12 assists on the night, dishing and dabbling. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists from Andrew Wiggins. Okay, I get you, Coach Cal. 4 assists. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from JaMychal Green. I guess that makes sense too, Coach, because you still got shooters. You had Jordan Poole that's still out there, Dante DiVincenzo, who contributed with 14 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Kevin Looney, 4 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. 7 points apiece from Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond Green. Draymond, 10 rebounds, 4 assists on the night. Kuminga, 2 rebounds, 5 assists in his efforts. Moses Moody, 4 points. And lastly, James Wiseman, 6 points, 2 rebounds in 5 minutes of play. So like Coach said, yes, he would have pulled Klay at that point, knowing his injury history to preserve him to help out. So I completely get it. Maybe they wanted to let him cook a little bit, or maybe wanted to see him so he could see a flow of what it is and, who he is and who he could be in state. So, of course, that being said, in last night's last game in the night, of course, the Mavericks faced off against the Utah Jazz in Utah, in which the short-handed, well, I guess you won't say short-handed, but they definitely was out without their top player, Luka Doncic, and now, of course, Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris, who arrived yesterday in Dallas while they were on the road. Faced off against the Utah Jazz as they took care of business. Hardy and Green, in which we just talked about earlier this morning. We're going to get to it in a second. Winning 124-111 against a team that people thought was kind of like done due to their transactions over the course of the beginning of the year. Utah in the losing efforts, led by Jordan Clarkson's 26 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist from Walker Kessler, 10 points apiece from Rudy Gay with 1 rebound, 2 assists, Colin Sexton with 1 assist, as well as Michael Conley Jr., 10 points, 11 rebounds. 1 rebound, 11 assists on the night. Wasn't enough. Of course, Lauri Markkanen, 19.7 rebounds. And Kelly Olynyk, 11.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Walker Kessler, like I said, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. But the Mavericks, like Coach Cal said, the diaper dandies, as Coach, not Coach K, as Dick Vitale would say, diaper dandies putting in the work. 29 points apiece, Josh Green and Jaden Hardy. 4 points, 4 rebounds from Hardy. 6 points, 2 assists from 29.6 rebounds, 2 assists from Josh Green. Contributions from Tim Hardaway Jr., 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists from Reggie Bullock. 12 points, 16 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists from Dwight Howell. 3 points, a piece for Theo Henson and AJ Lawson. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists as Christian Woods gets back into it. All without Kyrie Irving and or Luka Doncic. Is that a sign of what is yet to come in Dallas? Are they reinvigorated by the trade and the move, having someone of Kyrie Irving's stature to be in the building to help contribute to the cause? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I might as well say Christian Wood was out. Well, his points contribute. I mean, I guess they could have did without him. It would have been only they would have barely lost had it. I mean, but 6 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. What do those assists? I mean, he gave 8 points. Where would those assists came from? I guess you could say it wasn't what we accustomed to seeing, thinking that Luka and Christian Wood were the running mates. We saw what happened to Finney Smith after having a good game in the trade deadline week. Christian Wood is not going anywhere. I could assure you of that. What do you think, Coach Cal? Where do you think Christian Wood? What would even be a suitable trade to get a player of Christian Wood's caliber out now that you have Kyrie and Luka as teammates? What would be the complementive player to switch for Christian Wood in your opinion? You know what? I see you. See, I should have known because I did see you posted something about John Collins or Bojan Bogdanovic. You would really want to move him for Bojan Bogdanovic? Or even John Collins? Okay, I see what you're saying. Basically, go ahead and get rid of him and bring it so you can have some security and longevity on the roster. Okay, I got you. I think Christian, depending on what's going on, Christian might sign now. If he depending on where y'all finish, if you feel like he's going to be a part of that nucleus, I foresee him signing and re-signing there. I don't see where else we'll be able to pull him away unless it's somewhere like Los Angeles or Milwaukee or Boston or somewhere where he can go and be like, I can do less and earn more. I don't know. But of course, Christian Wood's been working and working towards it to where I think he's deserving. So, of course, that was the last game from last night. For NBA, of course, tonight's games scheduled 6 games. Was it 6 games tonight? 6 games tonight. Yes, 6 games tonight. The New York Knicks and the Orlando Magic do battle up in Orlando. Atlanta Hawks and the New Orleans Pelicans face off. The Pelicans currently riding a 2-game win streak. The Chicago Bulls and Memphis Grizzlies face off at home. Of course, John Morant to be without one of the homies as they have been suspended from the FedEx Forum for the course of the year. See them next year. The Minnesota Timberwolves and Denver Nuggets get at it. I think the Nuggets looking to avenge. I think they're on a 2-game losing streak, maybe, I think. I know they had a little dismal game against the aforementioned Timberwolves just earlier this week. The Phoenix Suns, newly acquired, as it was made final for the Suns to be sold, the Suns and the Mercuries, as well as when the Suns were when it was said that that sale was finalized, the CEO and president stepped down and resigned from his post. I guess a lot is there. Of course, we know he was enthralled in saying that he had a lot to do, or he as well was to blame for some of the transgressions that was going on with the work environment in the Phoenix Suns organization. After the owner Sarver was taken care of found to be guilty, I guess you could say, of those things. He, of course, his name started to come up in the whirlwind of things in which he decided to step down as well after the sale was made final. Well, yes, the Phoenix Suns will be in Brooklyn taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Do we see another outstanding game from Cam Thomas? Are we going to see more of that? Nick Claxton, I think actually they did pretty good. Will Dorian Finney-Smith be involved at that point in this game? Will we be able to see what that looks like? So, of course, that's more to be seen. And last but not least, the Los Angeles Lakers, the prime time game, late night game, will be taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, in which LeBron James could potentially, on his home floor, break the record for the most points in NBA history, in which we see it was talk about it. That will put him over 38,000 points. We all know LeBron's going to break the record at some point. It's inevitable. He's going to break the record this year. Probably in the next 2 games, possibly. The only thing that wouldn't see him breaking the record is if he was to have a season-ending injury prior to scoring 36 points. With that being said, what will potentially be the next record? I mean, what would be the next record? Does LeBron score over 40,000 points in the regular season points? Does he put up 39,000? Like, where do you see this going? Even at this year, by the end of this year, where will their record be? We not let alone the 2 more years that he has still with the Los Angeles Lakers, to where he can continue to put up points. Where do we see the record being set to? And when that record is set, do you think it will stand as long as the record of 38,000 points, which took 40 years to eclipse from a person that's a non-3-point shooter? Like, I know it's always conversation that talks about how LeBron has basically made over 2,200 3-pointers in his career, which of course he got to the number of 38,000 faster than what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did. But for the most part, do you see someone, once LeBron has broke this record, do you think in our lifetimes will we see another breaking of the NBA all-time scoring leader record? What's good, sis? What's going on, Kenny? Glad to see you formation with us this morning. I hope you're having a great morning as well as an even greater week so far, just 2 days in. So, is that where you're at with it? Do we see that potentially popping off? Luka and Giannis are the only chance. I know Luka won't hold up or care to hold up physically. Probably not. I do foresee Luka as like, you know what, man, I don't even want to play this game anymore, and he'll just stop playing. He'll be like, I'm good. I'm not coming back next year. He's gonna go play at home, go back home to his countrymen, and play in this country to where he can do what he wants. I can see that in Luka. Not saying that he's not committed, but I can just see that, like, he has that type of that aura, in my opinion. Giannis is like, do you think Giannis is able to put up that type of points? And will it all be Milwaukee if that was the case? Will Giannis be a Buck lifetime? So a couple of other things, right? Let me see. Let me get to it. The LA defense does pose a threat if they were high scorers were to come through and maintain health. I get you. And then, of course, that if people are just allowed to get the points off, it's going to definitely be a problem, where it's going to pose a problem. So I can completely understand to get that completely. So I can see how Giannis maybe, but I would see Giannis as the type of player be like, yo, this is getting boring to me. Putting up 30, 40 points a night. I don't even feel challenged. I don't want to play this game anymore. Like we talked about earlier, Kirk Miles requesting to be traded from the 76ers due to his lack of ability, a lack of no one's giving him any real burn, or he's not getting his just due. So now Kirk Miles he requested a trade. Bishop, what's good, brother? What's going on this morning, fam?
Hey, what's going on, man? WGO, what's good? My apologies, man, for coming on late. I got some disturbing news this morning coming in from the gym. A close friend of mine. Who who I went to school with, who lived right down the street from me in Hardwires. He lived like right up the street from us when we was growing up. He's been reported missing. So I've been trying to see for the last hour, trying to get some updates, trying to find out what's going on, because he just posted about his 2 kids the other day. I'm talking about Jamar Workman. For those that may be watching from Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma. If y'all know anything about his whereabouts, please let someone know. Reach out to his family, reach out to his wife, because a lot of people are concerned. He just, like I said, he just made a post 2 days ago about his sons at being at a laser park, and last time he was seen was 8:15 last night. And no one has seen or heard from him since. So just been trying to figure it out and trying to wonder what's going on, because that's kind of odd or whatever. But like I said, we grew up with this guy. He lived like 4 or 5 houses down from our house. We used to play outside together, play ball, all types of stuff. I raced him, and him and I raced in high school, like the 100 meters and stuff like that. So it's just crazy.
Hopefully he gets back to his family and kids and everything unscathed. And
Yeah.
back in maybe just a situation where people was like, oh no, I've been around, that's my fault, or like you said, be somewhere.
It's sad. It's bad because his wife has his phone, so he don't even have his phone. So that's the bad thing. He, and most people don't leave nowhere without their phone. So that's what's really disturbing. And what I'm saying. So he don't even have his phone to even call or reach out to anyone or nothing. So yeah. But yeah, I appreciate that though, Trey, for
no problem,
words and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
what's good.
yeah,
What's good, Cowboys Corner Talk? What's good? How you
what's
living?
good? So Coach Cal, you're right. He probably is the most lead, but Cork Moss, do you think somewhere else could he be utilized to a extent, Coach Cal? 6'7", a wing, but he's only averaging 3.8 points a game this year. To request a trade is crazy. Like, he's probably, like you said, the most least known cat to request something in the NBA. What else we had? What else I was just talking about? Like we said, Mercury's and the Phoenix Suns that made that approval made legit $4 billion. $4 billion. Which, you know what? That's how much he purchased the Suns for. The Suns and the Mercury for $4 billion.
Oh, okay.
And which they said he was a 29-0 vote, in which they said one person didn't vote. He was abstained for voting, and that was the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dan Gilbert. And that's because technically Dan Gilbert and Ishiba are rivals in their particular in what gets them money. They're both mortgage lenders. So, of course, we know Dan Gilbert's mortgage company and Ishiba's mortgage company are currently the top 2 mortgage lending companies in the world, or in the and so they're basically rivals. So Dan Gilbert didn't abstain from voting to bring him in. So he the total was 29-0 on the vote, and saying that he would and bringing him in. So of course he's new to the fray. 21 being a NBA basketball governor. I ain't gonna say owner, governor, as they call them in the NBA. That's where we at. Bishop, I know you're I ain't gonna say you're a LeBron hater. I don't think you're a LeBron hater. Do you think LeBron breaks the record tonight? 36 points.
Who they play tonight?
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Where at?
Oklahoma. Oh, LA. Oh, the next 2 games are in LA.
Oklahoma City Thunder. He probably will. Yeah.
36 points.
Yeah, he probably will. Thunder. Yeah, the Thunder is not a huge threat like that. So yeah, he probably will. I wouldn't put it past that he would. Yeah, he probably will.
What do you think? Once it's all said and done, Westbrook is playing. He said, once his
Westbrook is playing. I mean, I just think, I think he'll do it.
Westbrook feed him. Westbrook goes triple double tonight. A small triple double. Feeding them.
I think he'll do it. Yeah, I think he'll do it.
At the end
I know
state,
he
what
was I know he was talking about. Who was he talking to? He was talking to, oh boy, from what's that show?
Oh, I get what Coach Calvin saying.
The one talking Brown for 40 tonight. Oh boy, what's his name? Mike Wilbon, I guess, interviewed him about it, and he said, I guess Mike Wilbon asked him, how would he like to break the record? Like, would he want to break it on a 3-pointer? Would he want to break it on a dunk? Would he want to break it on
catching the body?
And that's what he basically said. He said one of his signature dunk. He said, "What I don't want to do."
What they call it, the Akron hammer.
Yeah, what he said was, what I don't want to do is I don't want to break it on the free throw line. He said, I don't want to break the record on the free throw line.
That's not bad. I mean,
it's easy. You don't want to. You want to go out. If you're gonna break the record, you want to break it where you just going up, like you say, catch a body.
You know what? I got even one better than catching the body. I think the most
alley. Alley is the only other thing. Alley oop is the only other thing I want. What?
A buzzer beater.
Oh yeah.
A buzzer beater.
Yeah. A buzzer beater would definitely be one.
That's breaking the record on a buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater. I'll take that one. Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, I buzzer beater. I could take that. A buzzer beater for sure.
Coach Cal said the script writer should write it up as him breaking it on the team that drafted Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He said, "I know if Bron broke, because they play Oklahoma City tonight. Thursday night they play Milwaukee in LA, and Milwaukee was the team that drafted Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So it's like basically that's where the point started at for Kareem. So he's like, it'd be a bigger story if it was against the team that drafted Kareem Abdul-Jabbar even more. It's like, but you know what? It's funny that Coach Cal said, their relationship isn't great. You know who I didn't realize whose relationship wasn't great, and he was like he basically got shunned by this dude when he broke his record. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar breaking Wilt Chamberlain's record.
He got shunned.
Yeah, he's like Wilt Chamberlain was like basically gave him his ass a kiss. That was all said and done. Yeah, he's like he's like Wilt wasn't happy at all with him breaking his record.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like he's going to be there for LeBron. He's like LeBron breaking the record is something that basically happens because it's going to go on. So people reach at it. So it's like that was the situation. But he's like Kareem was like it wasn't received well when he did it by the person that Wilt Chamberlain. So he's like he's going to be different, and he's like he's going to be there for LeBron. He's like he plans to be in the building. When he breaks it, he's like he's going to congratulate him and all that.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like that's how you feel.
That is.
Wilt.
That's literally like Wilt. Like really, you Wilt. Like, are you that butthurt? Your joint can't last forever, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's like, but again, like I said, Wilt stolen valor. Wilt was stolen valor, man.
Bro, that's disrespectful.
Wilt was just he was just Johnny on the spot. He happened just like I talked about the Philadelphia beating the 49ers. It just happened. So it was lightning in the bottle, and Wilt just happened to sit up and be there and be able to but he was like stolen valor. He was the most dominant player at the time to where people was no way in any form or fashion going to be able to stop him. And basically that's what happened. Wilt is stolen valor. My personal opinion. He should break it against the Bucks. What you say, Donovan? Should break it against the Bucks. Kareem won the championship with both teams. They should do it with a sky hook or a half-court shot. Coach Cal says Lou Dort, the linebacker with a jump shot, might try to hurt Bron tonight. I hope they don't do that. It would be that would be the worst thing for him to get injured tonight, where he can't even attempt to finish off the record this year. I don't even know if that record gets broken anytime soon. Like I was wondering, as Bishop comes back, let me ask him that question. Bishop, in any way, form, or fashion, do you think the bronze record will be broken during our time?
Yes.
Really? You think someone's going to break it in
Mm-hmm.
the next 40 years?
Mm-hmm. It'll be somebody like Luka, somebody
He
like
does
that.
say think that's the same thing Cal said. He said Luka or
Mm-hmm.
Giannis, especially
Yeah.
with the Olay defense nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll be somebody. Yeah. I think it may it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, that's what I
There's
said. It took 40 years for this to be broken. So
Yeah, and the game has changed. It's more of a shooting game like now than it was ever before, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it'll happen.
I know, I see another chat that's going on. I had to add you to it, Bishop. But there's another chat that's going on, which Seven Mitchell, who's going to be our guest appear on Thursday. He said LeBron should sit tonight.
So that wasn't they talking about he should break it on Wednesday night or Thursday night or something like that? That's
Thursday
when
would
they
be against
got it
everyone. That's
projected.
against
Yeah, that's when
Milwaukee.
they
Yeah,
said it. Yeah, that's when they saying it was
but
projected.
he might not mess around. He might not get 36 points against Milwaukee. Even though you know what LeBron said, I think it was that same interview that you said. LeBron said I could do whatever I want on the court.
Mm-hmm.
He said he can do whatever he wants on the court. So Adam Silver continues to make the game even more easier to score. And just a pit happened. However, I think they'll change things in 10 years. So 10 years, I see Coach Cal. 10 years, it'll be a little harder. Cowboy corner talk, Luka has to get deep in the playoffs to catch LeBron. I can see that. But I'm trying to. So Luka as well. I mean, he's a scorer, but I think like Coach Cal was talking about earlier, I think the closest thing, i.e., Luka, is. I mean, he's pretty close. I mean, he gets it at the clip, but I think it would be Giannis. Would be when I sit up and think about it, I think Giannis would be the hardest. I mean, the most likely in it, particularly to get it, but it's going to be hella hard because LeBron is going to get to 38. And then after he gets to 38, he's just going to climb on top of that. Just like I think Steph Curry is going to make the 3-point made all-time 3 points made record almost unreachable potentially, unless we just get someone that just comes in and that's all they do is shoot threes at a higher clip. Who could take recovery beers after games during the playoffs? He don't care about super long career. And that part, you know what I'm saying? So Luka, I mean, he fills up the basket. He's a bucket, but they just added a bucket. And so too many buckets, it's not going to mesh well. So I think Luka's going to lose that edge of production because he's got some balls got to be given up. They got it at some point. There's going to be a conversation between Luka and Kyrie in which if Kyrie is the leader that he's supposed to be, he's going to get Luka under wraps, and then for them, I really think honestly, Coach Cal, and please let me know. Of course, anyone else, I'm very sure Cowboys Corner Talk. You must be a Cowboy fan. I mean, a Dallas fan, so you're probably a Mavericks fan. Please let me know if I'm wrong. I think for it to work, Kyrie has to go in and take in charge of that unit and be the point guard and talk to Luka and be like, if we do it this way, this is how we win. Do y'all see Luka as a version somewhat of LeBron James? And so with that same type of expectancy, Mavericks can get something done. Okay, Donovan, you see if Curry. Well, we know it took Curry a while. I mean, he was scoring, but he wasn't scoring nowhere close to what got him 2 MVPs back to back. So, yeah. No, okay. Kyrie cannot take charge. He can be a 1B at best. Luka is young and foreign handle him with white gloves. Okay, I get what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying, Cal. And I was more so thinking about the simple fact of maybe Luka evolving to where he could see the writing on the wall and be like, this is how we get there, and I can get down with this. But I can understand what you're saying. He needs to be 1B and understand like this is Luka's team, and you're just here to contribute, not to be the dude or take over. Someone said Mark Cuban is and wants to be Jerry Jones. I'm very sure they have some remnants of one another, but I'm very sure they probably don't how one does business as compared to the other. I think Cuban is a little more brash than Jerry Jones is. I don't know, CC, if you're still out there, what do you think? Being a Cowboys fan. But yeah, so that basically gonna let me sure it was nothing else in which I have for in regards or sense to NBA. Going through my notes real quick. Um, People overreact to him. Partner Rock, he likes to pass. He just likes to run the offense. I get you. I understand that, Coach Cal. And true. And then maybe I am a little presumptuous in saying that, but he definitely is more of a all-round player than people would like to lead on to. So I could agree with you on that in that aspect, of course, at that point. So yeah, so I think that going on, we'll get into some other stuff that leads back in NBA. We in the second hour currently. So NFL, as I know, Bishop's out trying to help his friend out, help get in contact with his friend. Currently fans a lot more respect than Dinwiddie. True that. I will give you that. He definitely does. So I can get that, Coach Kyle. Like basically, he'll be more willing to share the spotlight with Kyrie, being that who he is, as opposed to Brunson, who was up and coming, as well as Dinwiddie, who was like of course more inferior. But then I don't know what was the situation with him and Porzingis. Like I would have thought Porzingis was going to command that certain type, the same. I mean, of course, not the same, but somewhat similar to that in which Kyrie demands or which commands. And that didn't work out. That got Porzingis shipped out no sooner than he got there. KP was playing weak and he was moody about becoming a superstar. Okay, I got you, Coach. It's crazy how that works. Funny how the tables turn. Moving on right along, moving right along. Of course, be sure to check out the scroll at the bottom of the court, bottom of the screen. Keep in mind, Thursday is going down as myself and Bishop will have our rendition of the NBA All-Star team selection. I will be selecting the first formation West. Bishop will be selecting first formation East. And then, of course, like he said, he's going to play it out. Special guest 7, Mitchell will be on hand to officiate us properly to make sure there's no finagling or anything else. You got to watch that dude Bishop. Them East Coast cats think they slick.
What is wait? Don't worry, I'm unmuted so you can hear me. What is you over here? What is you over here blabbing about? Like you about to
East Coast cats think they slick, man.
What are you talking about?
Somehow find out, look up, and you got Giannis Antetokounmpo and all the stars. It's like, how you end up with 4 all-stars on your starting roster? Like, how does that work when we picking alternate tickets? But so I gotta keep a close look and close watch on what you're doing. You already have a strategy, Bishop? You already enacted a strategy?
I have.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
what do you say?
Chess, not checkers. Remember, we need to know the starters. Everybody injured. I mean, true. I mean, that's unfortunate. We don't know those people yet, so we just gonna go with what the best we know. Like, what I'm saying? Or you can he can sit up and let certain players go. They can let certain players go. So it remains to be seen. So it's like if by Thursday, if they haven't set up, because it's sometimes, so it's unfortunate. By Thursday, if they haven't let the stars be known, or even replacements, because of course we don't know if Kyrie. We don't know if which is interesting because now, well, I guess it isn't interesting because now Kyrie is on the West. So how would he go? He's no longer. I mean, I guess because the teams don't have any alliances except for the conference, the team captain. But Kyrie is on the West now. So do they remove Kyrie from the East and bring in somebody, the East runner up, and then Kyrie replaces Steph? I don't know. We'll see. In any case, we'll the starters are set, the reserves are set. And I have my strategies. I have a couple of strategies in place to thwart anything in which Bishop's going to put forth. So I greatly, I'm ready for this. I'm definitely ready for this. And it should be nice and juicy. Like if I sit up and do a good job in picking on Thursday, and then Friday, I don't know what's yet to come. And then Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles lose. Oh, Monday is going to be the greatest thing in the world. You're muted.
That part is not going to happen, bro. That's
Which
not
part?
going to happen. The Sunday thing. The Sunday thing is not going to happen.
Funny you say that, right? There's a lot going on in the NFL. A whole lot going on in the NFL. First and foremost, the Vikings have acquired their new defensive coordinator as they select the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, that being Brian Flores. He is the new defensive coordinator in Minnesota. Which initially what they thought was going to go on, they thought Ivero was going to become the head of the defensive coordinator because him and O'Connell had such a close and tight-knit relationship when they were in Los Angeles playing with the Chargers. with the Rams. So they thought that he was going to do it, but Ivero, after he got released from the Denver Broncos, he didn't even take an interview. He got picked up and was hired directly by the Carolina Panthers. So the Vikings went ahead and doubled down, and they selected Brian Flores to enact or kind of like build on the what they wanted. They said initially O'Connell was trying to enact, which they didn't have any blitzes last year. They was like, of course, Brian Flores is heavy on blitzes and man-to-man coverage, in which that wasn't completely opposite of what Minnesota showed last year, which I guess it makes sense now when you look at Minnesota falling off late in the year. So now that's different. So you have that. Additionally, when you were speaking about coaches and coordinators, the Broncos introduced, of course, Coach Sean Payton as their head coach. And so I asked this, Bishop. I bring this up to ask this question. Coach Payton spoke to Russell Wilson needs to improve. Being a 10-year vet, 2-time Super Bowl appearing, 1-time Super Bowl champion, multiple All-Stars, a couple of All-Pro allocations. How do you feel about your new head coach coming in saying that you need to improve? Even saying that whoever you have as your coach, your football coach, your quarterback coach, is not going to be in his building. How does that make you feel as that said player?
He's the coach. He's the new coach. Whatever he said, go, man. You got to go with what he says, man. It is what it is. He don't want any. I mean, that's like any coach, though. Any coach don't want
to know what that's not a part of your
outside influence trying to hinder what it is that you already got in place, and what you're trying to put in place, should I say? Because he's Sean Payton is just getting there. Right. So you don't want no inside. You don't want no outside influences, even though that is your quarterback coach or your quarterback
person
that's been with you or whatever. However, you don't want that. Those aren't the things you're looking for in a player. I need you to focus on what I'm telling you, how we can do better as a team, what I need from you, what you expect from me, so we can move forward and try and get this team into a Super Bowl.
But how would you receive that when you come in? It's like you telling me I need to improve. Can Russell improve? Does he need to improve, or was it?
Of course he needs to improve. I mean, I think his his performance this past season, I think, shows that he needs to improve without question.
So
I think
from the
what
analytical standpoint, what it had is that once they moved the offensive coordinator or the offensive they moved the offensive player coach up into the press box, and they put the quarterback coach on the sideline. They said Russell was more effective that way. So I think they're looking at potentially keeping that going. If you were as a quarterback coach or offense coordinator, where would you want to be on? You want to be on the field, or do you want to be up in the
I
press
want to be on
box?
the
So
field.
you want to be on the field?
I want to
I
be on
think
the
I
field.
want to be in the press box.
I don't. I want to be in. I want to be in the field. I want to be on the field because I want to be able to look in you eye to eye. I want to be able to
Okay.
see your. I want to be able to see emotions. I want to be able to see your body language when I say something or when you tell me something and things of that nature. I want to be able to interact that way. I don't just want to.
Call it down.
Call
Talk
it
to you in the
down and all
headset.
that. Yeah. I don't. That's not what I want to do. I want to be able to interact with you for personal, face to face, and see what it is you're saying, what it is I'm saying, and all that.
You want
stuff.
that? You want those raw emotions, all that stuff. You want to be able to
Yes,
all that. Okay.
I want all that. Let me get it. Let me get it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So of course, saying with that, the Broncos look forward to moving on. Additionally, staying in the whole coaching realm and stuff like that, a couple of interesting ones. So Eric Bieniemy, as we know, has been with the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid for some time. Now Andy Reid is proving that he's effective. Although, well, he did cook the Philadelphia Eagles to in a Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens. Matter of fact, speaking of that, Bishop, just a little trip back. Why didn't y'all win that Super Bowl?
That's the Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
I think it was so much turmoil going on between Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens T.O. at leading up into that game. I feel like their mind wasn't in that game. My personal opinion. I feel like they wasn't prepared for that game like they should have been.
Because Terrell was T.O. was coming back off the broken leg, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of things played a factor in that, and I think that's why we didn't win that Super Bowl, and I was so upset.
It was close, though, wasn't it? T.O. was definitely cooking.
He was.
So like I was saying, with that being said, like you said, Eric Bieniemy has been around a while, in which now he is in his third or fourth Super Bowls, and he's been through 5 AFC championships. Now he's in his third or fourth Super Bowls. Do we probably finally see a chance for Eric Bieniemy to come out of that tree? So now he has a couple of opportunities. Technically, only one. I think maybe 2. Only one. He didn't interview for the Cardinals position, I don't think, but he did interview for the Colts position. So he has an opportunity to potentially be the Colts head coach, as well as 2 teams have all asked to interview him for their offensive coordinator positions, which are the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. Which position or job do you think would you go after? The head coaching position for the Colts, or would you be more interested in the OC position for the Panthers? I mean, or for the Titans or the Ravens? So the Colts, of course, you don't have a quarterback, but I think you have high draft picks.
You
but you still got Jonathan Taylor.
And you got Matt Ryan.
So would you be looking at try to keep Matt Ryan?
No, but I'm saying you still have Matt Ryan right now, as of now.
You're saying now you're just coming in and you're using
Carolina.
Using that's Matt Ryan, but I'm coming in and I feel like I can or I can't use Matt Ryan. So you have that. You have possibly Lamar Jackson as an offensive coordinator. It's like, okay, I have, or you have Derrick Henry.
Baltimore.
in Baltimore. I mean, you have Derrick Henry in Tennessee potentially to utilize. Which one is going to wet your whistle a little
And then
more?
what do I have in Carolina?
Carolina's already done. He's not going to get that. They already got their Frank Reich is already the head coach, and I think they already have their offensive coordinator, and they just
Okay.
hired their defensive coordinator in Evero.
Well, then me, if
I think
it's
other job. I think the only other job that's left out there is the Arizona Cardinals job, but he didn't interview for that.
okay, then for me, then I would definitely probably go with the Ravens.
You will say offensive coordinator? You couldn't just say offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I would probably stick with the Ravens and try and get that. Take the Ravens job. It's a run first, so not that much passing. How's it a run first? It's not a run first, Anthony. You have Lamar Jackson. I don't feel like it's a run first. I feel like I would definitely find and make sure that I would do everything in my power to ensure Lamar stays. And then I would build around Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Well, it's wide receivers. We want wide receivers because we already got Mark Andrews, but we need somebody else. We need a downfield threat to open up the field. I would probably look at some of the talent coming out of college in regards to wide receivers and maybe see some of these free agents. You know what I'm saying? Some of these free agents that may be out there.
I think that's what it is. Whatever the scheme, no matter what whoever the OC is, the scheme is going to remain the same. So which is their run first. But I mean, if you bring in wide receivers, that can be effective. Like, yeah, you could be run first, but when you start loading the box, I got something for you.
Right. So
and Donovan, I think I am taking. I think I agree with Bishop. I think if it's not, I mean, do you want to be ahead? Like Anthony said, the coach job is probably set up to fail. Set up to fail.
Well, not it's so I don't necessarily because, like you said, you got Jonathan Taylor out in Indianapolis.
Yes.
So your thing is now is trying to do you want to move forward with Matt? If you don't want to move forward with Matt, send Matt packing and try and find somebody in the draft, or try and get either Jimmy Garoppolo, Brett Favre. I mean,
Derek Carr. It's people out there. Carr.
It's people out there. So either you
still got a run game.
Matt,
you got some good
either gonna stick with Matt or you're gonna grab one of these veteran quarterbacks that's available, or even if you could try and get Lamar, he's still available. You know what I'm saying? Bring him in Indianapolis. Now you got him and you got Jonathan Taylor. Now all you got to do is worry about your receiving core, building that. I'm just saying, man, like that's not a bad, it's not a setup.
It's not as bad as it seems. Yeah.
No, it's not. Not in my opinion. My personal opinion, their weakness, their Achilles heel is Matt Ryan. I think it's time. His time is up. I think it's time to move on from him. I don't think it's nothing
to move on from him, or you think Matt needs to just hang him up?
I think he could probably be a backup. I think he would be a suitable backup. Whether or not he would want to be is something totally different.
Yeah, it's that
right.
part.
But
I'm a former MVP, and you want me a
right. Super Bowl contender. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But however, what have you done for me lately? And that's nothing. So that's why you're no longer in Atlanta. That's why you're in Indianapolis, and you're still not doing anything. So therefore, there's a chance that I could try and go, like I said, go for Lamar. I could definitely try and go for Rodgers. Or like you said, there's people out there. Garoppolo, Jimmy, it's people out there.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
It's some people. It's some
plethora of people, and then not including, and not to mention the draft. You got people coming out the draft. You know what I'm saying? I just saw yesterday these projected draft picks on where a lot of these teams, a lot of these players are going, and it's crazy, Trey, because that 2023 draft. Woo boy, oh my God, prospects, the people in which they saying they have what's his name? What for one, which I love, they got Bijan Robinson coming to Philly.
What?
Bijan Robinson coming to Philly.
Why would they put another running back in y'all stable?
I don't know why, but that's what they got on the board. That's what they got on the board. What I saw yesterday. Then they got what's his name? Going to the Carolina Panthers. What's his name? So they got hold on, where is it at? So I don't. Tanner
Coach Cal
McAfee of
said they won't
Stanford.
be John.
Who?
Cal said
I
they
need
won't.
Of course, Calvin, you would say that. Why would y'all need Bijan if y'all still got
Y'all don't need B John. We need B John.
Y'all don't. You got CMC, really? Y'all do not need
He's
Bijan.
all purpose.
Y'all,
we need
that's just like no. That's like y'all said that if
3
we don't
yards
need
and a
him
puff
high
of
in
smoke.
the hill, if we don't need him high in the hill, you think y'all need
Y'all
him.
have
When you already
enough-
said y'all better.
y'all-
No, when
y'all got
no, you will not, Trey.
Scott,
No,
y'all got-
no, you will not.
Y'all got
Trey.
3 running backs. We have one and a half.
Who's our three?
We have one in the possible.
Who's our three? Who's our three?
You
Who's our
have
three?
you
Who's our
have
three?
what's his
Miles
name?
Sanders, Miles Sanders, and Boston Scott.
Gainwell and
No,
Scott.
no, you will not. No, you will not. You will not make Gainwell a 3 if you gonna take Debo is a half. No, you will not.
I was even talking about Debo. Our
So
half is we got one in the possible.
How's the one in the possible?
We got Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey.
That's one. That's 2. And go ahead and
Well, give us Bijan, we get 3. It's the same as y'all.
No, you already got Debo. Y'all got Debo.
No,
Debo
we don't.
And Debo and Gainwell is the same thing, bro.
Gainwell is a clear-cut running back now. He's not a receiver anymore. He's a running back.
No, yes,
he's a running back now.
No, he's not.
Gainwell is Cordell Patterson.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No. If Bijan falls deep in the first round, Zeke is out of there for sure. No, don't be. Let's stop it. Anyway, so they got so first they got Jaren Hall from BYU going to the Washington Commanders. We expected because we know Carson Wentz ain't finna do nothing. Then we got Hendon Hooker, who had an outstanding season until he got hurt. They was on pace to looking to making it to the national championship game, but Hendon Hooker got hurt, which was a huge loss for the Tennessee Vols, and they got him going to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Nah, they not gonna do that. I don't think.
Clayton Tune, Houston, the quarterback for Houston, they got him going to the Las Vegas Raiders to replace Carr. Jake Hayner, Fresno State quarterback, they got him going to Detroit Lions. Tyson Baggett, Shepard, he's going to the Seattle Seahawks, which don't really make a whole lot of sense, and especially when you have Russell Wilson out there. I just don't know. Bryce Young, they got him. Bryce Young going to Houston, which of course. CJ Stroud, they got it. Still, CJ Stroud. I heard yesterday they had CJ Stroud going to the Carolina Panthers. On here, they got him going to the Indianapolis Colts, which we just talked about with the number 4 pick. No, Colts got the number 4 pick. That's major. CJ Stroud going in. Will Levis out of Kentucky. They got him going to the Carolina Panthers at number 9 with the 9th pick. Then they have Anthony Richardson from Florida also has a possibility if the Panthers don't pick up Levis, they'll pick up Richardson, or they feel like Anthony Richardson could go to either the Panthers or the Seattle Seahawks at number 5 and the 20th pick. The Seahawks got 2 picks in the first round. So because of that, of course, we know because of that trade. We all know because of that trade, but I don't know, man. CJ Stroud, him going to the Panthers, that was the one I was mainly talking about. That's wrong. Washington's getting on quarterbacks first round. That's wrong. Washington's getting a cornerback first round. That's what you hope. Because are you satisfied with Carson Wentz there, Anthony Price? Are you sound like you must be satisfied with Carson Wentz, huh?
You know what? I can't wait, Bishop. To find out when we play. We got to go back to y'all home, but we play y'all next year.
Y'all don't want them problems.
Can't wait.
You don't want them. Y'all don't want them problems.
We play y'all in Philadelphia. We play the Cowboys in San Francisco.
So if Wentz won't be on the team, who's going to be your quarterback? AP
Taylor.
Heineke. Good luck with that. Heineke and Taylor. Heineke or Taylor. Oh, okay. Okay.
So you know what? I was looking at Bishop, and which is funny, right? 'Cause especially
Mm-hmm.
we just came out of. Oh yeah, Sam Howell. That was he's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I remember. So I was just looking at this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in all your years of playing fantasy football,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever been a part of a league or something where the end state of the league was to do something egregious for the loser, overall loser, for that said league? Have you ever been a part of that?
Mm-mm.
So it's funny, right? So I have not either, and and it was interesting because had I been, I would have probably been the person doing this a couple of times. I don't know. Well, this year, maybe once this year, I didn't finish like dead last or anything like this. I finished dead last maybe in one of the a few leagues in which I went into. So one league has the person. The punishment is the Burger King 5 your way mile, in which they have to run a mile, eat eat the French fries, I think, and the nuggets, run another mile, eat the burger and do the drink and run another mile and eat the last thing. But all the miles have to be completed under 10 minutes.
And
A
how many
mile.
miles is it?
Basically you run 3 or 4 miles, but it has to be running over 10 minutes, and you have to eat the menu item is a prescribed menu item in which you have to eat it all under 10 minutes. That was one of them for the last one. Another one in which they seen uh was to man, did I see this one? No, I didn't see this one. Hold up, let me see. Well, not that one. Another one was the loser had to go to the loser had to go to uh I guess an IHOP or Denny's, somewhere that's 24 hours, and they have to stay there for 24 hours. They have to sit inside the restaurants for 24 hours. Now they can diminish the time frame in which they sit there for every pancake in which they eat. So it's even you sit for 24 hours or you eat X amount of pancakes while sitting there.
So each
Uh,
pancake knocks off an hour or what?
each pancake knocks off an hour. So you even sit there and pay to eat 24 pancakes, or or you sit there for 24 hours, or you sit there for 12 hours and eat 12 pancakes. But basically, he was telling the woman like, "Hey, just understand. I'm going to be here for a while. I lost the bet. I'm going to be here for 24 hours. So if you see me, don't be alarmed. I'm going to be here." So it was even. So he ate a stack of three pancakes, and which knocked off 3 hours. So he still had 18 hours. So I think 15 hours because he had been there for 2 hours. But he was like, he's like, I'm already starting to feel it. So even him eating the 3 stack of pancakes was a problem. So he couldn't deal with that. Another one. Oh man, I can't remember the other one. So in all that, so I have of course, what it has is some other ones. What, like I said, the waffle challenge was one. A
A waffle
calendar,
challenge.
yeah, a waffle challenge where they had to eat these uh, huge, these huge stacks of waffles. They had one was the calendar photo shoot where you you basically do a calendar photo shoot for the loser, for being the loser. You had one was the wing challenge, a blazing hot wing challenge.
Mm.
I definitely wouldn't be able to do that one. You had one where they had to get a tattoo. Uh, there was one to where you had to have dinner for two, but the other person that was there was a blow up doll or a stuffed animal that was your date.
What?
So yeah, you brung your date in and you sat your date down and you ordered for your date and all that type of stuff. Uh, they had one where you had to get a full body wax. And there was one where they had to take an SAT. You had to go back in and take an SAT.
Oh.
So, what do you think could have been the most egregious or what's the most interesting fantasy football for the loser could have been? What's the one which you could have came up with to what you would be like, oh, that would have been great. Let's say in our fraternity joint, because we can that's more attainable because we are usually all in the same place at the same time. What do you think could have been something which everyone agreed to do? Is like, oh yeah, for sure. The tattoo was there. Is the choice of the
the person that's not
well,
getting
no,
it.
it's a choice. It's so everyone else comes up with the tattoo, and which I would think we come up early because he's like, you just got to know, like, okay, I'm not going to get the tattoo for no wax stuff. And which I'm very sorry because in our league, in our fraternity league, we would definitely have to come up with some rules because if I sit up and get a last place finish because people did some finagling and some BS, I'm gonna be hella hot. Like, yo, like the stuff that they be pulling sometimes, I'm like, nah, man, we can't do that. We cannot do that. We gotta sit up and keep it above board. So what do you think would have been the most egregious situation that could have been done? Getting the Cyro Kai crest tattooed on them.
Yeah, that would have been dirty. That would have been mad dirty. That'd have been mad dirty. Yeah, I think that would have been probably
Oh my goodness, that would have been crazy. But okay, what I don't think they would agree to that. What else could have been?
Shoot.
The Blazing Wing Challenge might have been interesting.
Yeah, I like that one too.
A calendar photo shoot.
That'd be hot.
Oh my goodness! And of course, like you said, the tattoo. But I still thought about that. And I was like, man, it's like at least in the ones that like in the speakeasy one, I would have been good. I wouldn't have been last. I wouldn't have been last in ours. I wouldn't have been last in the first formation one. I wouldn't have been. I wonder why Burger King, because it's the 5 for 4. You know, the 5 for 4 is like 5. It's the drink, is chicken nuggets, the Whopper. I think it's a Whopper Junior though, but it's a Whopper Junior, the chicken nuggets, the drink, French fries, and I think it's something else, in which they have to eat. Or so it's like you running a mile, and then you have to do it in 10 minutes. You have to run the mile in 10 minutes. So it's because you got 4 times around the track is a mile. So you got to run around the mile 10 minutes, but you got to eat. So you got to be quick around the track, and then you got to come and scuff down the food, and then get around all under 10 minutes.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, I think that would have been crazy.
So that would all interesting enough.
Wow. Yeah. Some people got some outlandish stuff on.
Yeah, it would be some stuff in which I think one league. Well, I wasn't last, so I would have been good in any of the leagues this year. I wouldn't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, I would have been good too because I wasn't last in none of my leagues either. I'd have been straight.
So let's talk honors, right? We can
Let's
do
talk
this a little early. Honors, NFL honors.
Oh, okay.
Of course, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 honors of trophies to be presented this year. In which we've talked about before, but now we're at the end of the season. We can bring it up and talk about it one more time since it's going. We probably would talk about this on Friday. Not going to be on tomorrow. It got a formation to get to or some stuff to do. So, but then we here Thursday as we've been talking about, which we'll see the stuff coming up for that. So let's talk about this now, Bishop. So we have assistant coach of the year. I'm going to give you 3 names, and you tell me who you think is going to actually get this as the finalist for assistant coach of the year.
Okay.
3 names we have. We have Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator.
Okay.
You have your own Shane Steichen. Is it Steichen?
Steichen, yeah.
The Eagles offensive coordinator. And you have D'Amico Ryans, defensive coordinator of the 49ers. Who wins offensive coach of the year? Assistant coach of the year.
Steichen.
Why Steichen?
Their record.
Why Steichen?
I just told you their record.
Stop it.
Speaks for
That's
That's
enough.
enough. Yes. What else do you need?
Steichen would not be my choice.
Of course it wouldn't. Of course
I'm not going to even say.
D'Amico,
See, there you go. There you go. I'm not going to
right?
even say. I'm not going to even say D'Amico would necessarily be my choice.
Who would be your choice then?
D'Amico would be my choice over Steichen
Why?
because D'Amico defense.
Defense what? Y'all defense got
They was the number one. Do not do that, Bishop. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We know why the 49ers lost. We know why the 49ers lost. We know why the 49ers lost.
They lost because of our defense.
It was no. They lost
because of our defense. No,
they lost because of our injuries.
No, which was caused by what? Our defense.
One person on y'all defense caused a injury.
2 injuries. 2.
Let's not act like the second injury was really going to make a difference, honestly.
It caused 2 injuries again, and y'all's defense did not stop us from scoring.
Our defense did stop you from scoring initially.
Y'all did not stop us.
Y'all leaned on us.
Enough.
If y'all was on the other side of the spectrum, y'all would have been 31 piece too.
Anthony, Calvin, y'all hear this nonsense, man? Y'all hear this? This is what I got to deal with, man. He say I'm wrong for picking my assistant coach.
I didn't pick my assistant. I'm just saying why my assistant is better than yours. I think I would go with Ben Johnson.
How is your assistant better than ours? I want to know. Explain. Explain, as my daughter would say. Explain. Explain. I want to know how.
DeMeco Ryder is going to be the assistant coach of the year, but I think I would have went with Ben Johnson.
No, he's not going to be the assistant coach of the year. How would he get that? There's no reason for him to get that. There's no reason for him to get that award. He didn't do anything. He didn't do enough.
Well, he walks up and accepts it.
He didn't do enough. I don't know why he would accept it because he didn't do enough.
Coach of the year: Brian Daboll, Kyle Shanahan, Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson. Who you think it should be?
So
you better not say Shanahan.
This is with no bias whatsoever.
No, there's Trey. Okay, explain to me how Shanahan should be. I don't care. We're talking about y'all was supposed to make the playoffs regardless.
We was 3-4 at week 7.
But y'all was I'm talking about pre season start. Y'all was supposed to make the playoffs. They had y'all making the playoffs out the gate, coming out before the very first kickoff of the game.
They didn't have us as a second seed in the NFL.
It don't matter. Then you're talking about a Doug Peterson. You're talking about a Doug Peterson who just got there and took the team to the playoffs.
You don't want to give it
bro. You always talk about me, bro. You are so bogus.
When I just up and look at it, but you know what I'm saying? But so he said Doug Peterson. Okay.
Doug Peterson. Yes. Comeback
player of the year: Geno Smith, Saquon Barkley, or Christian McCaffrey.
This dude here.
I'm just asking the questions.
This dude here. I give it to Geno Smith.
I agree.
Geno,
you'll say Geno did his thing.
Did his thug Izzo, yes. I give it to Geno.
At first I thought it was gonna be Saquon. I think Christian McCaffrey came on too late.
He stayed hurt though most of the season again. He kind of stayed healthy.
He came on too late. Yeah, he came on too late. Defensive rookie of the year: Tyreek Woolen, Aiden Hutchinson, Sauce Gardner.
Probably Sauce Gardner.
I agree. I think that's going to be a clean sweep. Sauce came in and did this thing, talked less, did more. Stop that, Anthony. Don't sit and boost this dude head. Offensive rookie of the year: Garrett Wilson, Kenneth Walker III, Brock Purdy.
Offensive rookie of the year?
Yes.
Garrett Wilson, who?
Garrett Wilson, Kenneth Walker III, running back for Seattle, or Brock Purdy, quarterback for the 49ers.
It's got to be Brock Purdy.
As much as I want to go with that,
you can't deny that. I think he was
too late. You think he did enough to win Rookie of the Year in
8 games? 8 games in a row?
Okay.
You can't deny that. That's without question. 8 games. I mean, I get he lost against us, but I mean 8 games in a row.
This dude, man.
I mean,
Oh,
it
my
is what it
goodness.
is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't be mad. I mean, he tried his best. He did what he could do.
Defensive Player of the Year: Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Chris Jones.
Nick Bosa probably.
I agree.
Yeah, Nick Bosa without question.
Offensive Player of the Year: Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts,
Jalen Hurts.
Patrick
You ain't gotta go no.
Mahomes.
You ain't gotta go further. Jalen Hurts. You ain't gotta go no further. That's enough.
Bruh,
Jalen.
he can't win both of them.
Win both of what? What all is he winning?
Offensive Player of the Year and MVP.
Yes. Why can't he? It'd be the first.
He can't win
we
both.
ever
Of
do
them.
it.
He's not gonna win both of them.
Why?
He might win one.
He should win both. Why shouldn't he win? Why shouldn't he win Offensive Player of the Year? And he went 14-1. Who else did that?
You had other offensive players that were better than Jalen Hurts. One
Name
being
one.
Justin Jefferson.
How? What did he do? What
He
did
put up
he
a
do?
miss-
He got shut down in 2 games. Shut down in 2 games.
And the Pro Bowl. Well,
And the Pro Bowl. He got shut down in 2 games. What did he do? Really? Come on, man.
I don't think Jalen wins Offensive Player of the Year. However, I don't think
it should go to Justin Jefferson. Who's the third person? Oh, Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick
said,
Mahomes.
right? Yeah. I give it to Patrick before you give it to Justin. Before I give it to Justin. I hate to say it, but Eagles take 3 awards. I'm telling you, tell him again, AP. He don't want to hear you.
Most valuable player: Patrick Mahomes,
Jalen
Hurts, Joshua Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson.
Jalen Hurts. Most valuable player, bro. That's easy. Jalen
So
Hurts.
I will give Jalen Hurts because it was clear when he was not in the lineup. So Jalen Hurts, I think, is more MVP, but I don't think he's the Offensive Player of the Year.
I don't know how you can say that. Because the same thing you giving him props for what do you call it? What he did for MVP, it correlates with the same thing in regards to
Anthony says he says Hurts is getting the Offensive Player of the Year because Patrick is winning the MVP.
Ooh, you disrespectful. Patrick is
so
not winning MVP.
According to
how does Patrick win MVP over Jalen?
According to
Give me
panel,
a reason. Go ahead.
According to the panel in NFL.com, with 22 people voting, 25 votes with 25 people voting, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the MVP with 18 votes. Jalen Hurts has 7 votes.
That's hating. That's just hating.
For Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson wins with 17 votes. Jalen Hurts with 6, Patrick Mahomes with 2.
That's
for
hating.
Defensive Player of the Year,
there's no way he don't get one of them awards. There's
Nick
no way.
Bosa is going to be against the vote with 18 votes. Mike Parsons 4, and Chris Jones 3. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson wins with 13 votes. Kenneth Walker III 7 votes. Brock Purdy 5 votes. Defensive Rookie of the Year, 22 people vote for Sauce Gardner, 3 for Tariq Woolen. Comeback Player of the Year, 16 votes for Geno Smith, Saquon Barkley 5 points, and then Christian McCaffrey 4 votes. For Coach of the Year, Brian Daboll wins 11 votes over 9 votes for Doug Peterson. Kyle Shanahan collects 5. And then last but not least, the Offensive Coach of the Year, 15 votes for DeMeco Ryans. 8 votes for Ben
Jalen don't
Johnson.
win nothing.
And 2, so no one, an Eagle doesn't win anything.
That's crazy. And they got the best record in the league, but they don't win nothing.
Sometimes that doesn't make a difference, Bishop.
It should. That's ridiculous. That is real ridiculous.
So they don't have them winning anything.
That's ridiculous. That's absurd for them not to win nothing. And there they have the best record in the league. Come on, bro. That don't even pass the common sense test, bro.
Hell, we was in 49 and had put someone in 5 categories and only walked away with 1. Y'all
We
had
had what? We had
2,
three, 4, 3.
2, hold up, 2, 3. Well, 2, 3. Y'all had 3 categories and no
Yeah.
one they can walk away with any either.
That's crazy. That's literally crazy. That is the most disrespectful thing I've heard. That is.
I think he gets MVP. I think he actually gets MVP.
That is the most disrespectful thing I've heard, bro. Like, how do you sit there and fix yourself to say that this dude don't deserve some type of award? How, like, nothing? For me, I still don't understand how do you put Patrick the Great over Jalen? What did he do that Jalen didn't do?
Donovan
What did
said
he
that's
do?
the script has been written that y'all win the Super Bowl. That's why they did all that.
I mean, I believe that.
It means he said all it means is the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
I'll take it. I'll take the Super Bowl over anything else. You right? I sure will.
We're not taking that.
I am. I'm sure taking it. Give it to me.
You took the game for the 49ers, so of course you would take the Super Bowl win.
You so right. You so right.
I see no lies. I
sure will. Give it
so,
to me.
We could close out with this.
Mm.
Sirianni is looking to avenge his firing from Andy Reid and his is that the ultimate revenge? The avenging?
Absolutely, I think it is without question, bro. How's Hurts stats better than Patrick? What do you mean? How stats? Let's see. Let's look. Let's see.
Yeah, I was just about to say. You know what I'm saying? Let's just end
all
the conversation. It's just
all
you gotta look. I'll look up. I'll pull up.
Mind you, know this. Jalen Hurts has 10 rushing touchdowns as the quarterback. 10 rushing touchdowns as the quarterback.
Let me see.
Patrick
Mahomes.
He has 10 rushing touchdowns.
Patrick Mahomes stats for this year. Let me see. 22.
Let's see. Let's look.
Passing stats for 22. Patrick Mahomes, 14-3, 435 completions to 648 attempts for 67.1 completions, 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
How many Jalen got?
That was that. Let me see. Rushing. Do he have rushing? Does he have any rushing?
No, he probably don't.
No, he doesn't have any rushing. Ooh.
That's what I forgot to do.
Let's
see. So Jalen Hurts, God dang it. Completions, 435. Patrick Mahomes had 435 to Jalen's 306. Attempts 460 to Patrick's 468. Percentage, Jalen 66.5, Patrick 67.1. Yards, Jalen 3,700, Patrick 5,250. Yards at attempt 8.0 for Hurts, 8.1 for Mahomes. TDs, Jalen had 22, Patrick had 41. Interceptions, Jalen had 6, Patrick had 12. Sacked, Jalen was sacked 38 times to Patrick Mahomes 26. Rushing attempts, Jalen had 165 to Patrick Mahomes 61. Yards, Jalen had 760 to Mahomes 358. Longest, Jalen 42, Patrick 20 plus yards, 9. TDs, Jalen had 13, Patrick Mahomes had 4. Games played, Patrick had 19 games to Jalen 17. Points per game, Jalen had 24.8 to Patrick Mahomes 24.5.
You said Jalen rushed for how many?
He rushed for 760 yards.
Yeah,
he was
Patrick rushed
yards
for 358.
350. Yeah. Jalen was 240 yards away from rushing for 1,000 yards as a quarterback. 240 yards from rush from 240, and he missed 2 games. He missed 2 games.
So you're saying he probably would have been 1,000-yard rusher?
He probably would have been 1,000 if he had not missed those 2 games. Yes, he probably would have got 1,000-yard rushing on top of 13 touchdowns. Probably would have added maybe 2 to 3 more touchdowns to that too, possibly. Thank you. Like I said, no. You still what are we going off of? The fact that he got some categories and Jalen got some categories too? What are we going off of? Yes, Pat got everything in passing. Jalen got everything in rushing. Jalen got everything in rushing except for one thing, and the yards per attempt. He had 4.6 yards per attempt in rushing. Patrick Mahomes had 5.9. But Jalen had over 100 more rushing attempts than Patrick. Patrick had 61 to Jalen's 165. Bless you. He had over 100 more rushing attempts. You're not saying anything. What Patrick did in passing, Jalen did in rushing. And again, Jalen was 240 yards away from being. It's not most valuable passer. Understand that, Anthony. It's not most valuable passer. You want an MVP to be the top rushing or the top. It's again MVP. You most valuable player. So that means which guy is most valuable to their team. Jalen Hurts the Eagles lost 1 game with Jalen Hurts behind the center. The other 2 games in which they lost, Jalen wasn't playing. Patrick Mahomes lost all the games in which he was behind center. So which guy is most valuable? I'll wait. It's not about who had more passing yards, who had more rushing yards. When it's all said and done, who's the most valuable person to their team? Jalen Hurts.
I think it was going to be Hurts.
That's just how I look at it. But it is what it is. I get it. When you ain't got nobody from whatchamacallit put it in there from Washington, I get it.
In a mighty wrestle with readiness. I can feel it grasping and clawing at the meat over my wings.
We gotta do this all week, really.
Unhinging, denaturing.
Josh Sweat.
Like ancient door latches, and if I am not cautious, my fingers will fall right out of their caskets.
Oh, that's right. Josh Sweat got hurt. I forgot about that.
Feel the ready rising, outgrowing the size of me. And all I can do is sit here. All I can do is be here and be ready. Well, I'm ready.
I saw him ready.
On the cusp of something. On the brink of something.
San Francisco,
on the edge, on the ledge of something.
Not at all.
On like a light switch, looking up at the sky. On like an eyelid, prying open for the dawn, all aflame, because I just...
Exactly.
Whatever, dude.
Decided it was time to look up, to look on.
Hey,
So now,
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Though not at all in agreement that I am. My guts are in a clamor. My lungs are funneling gusts. My feet are playing a rudderless drum set. My head is heating up, a baked brain bound down by a wool bonnet. Yet I know that I'm ready, even if we may not all agree. I am ready. I'm pinning down ready, raising down ready. At any moment, shaky, stern, and steady, at the ready. And when my legs push, I'll shoot past blaster of sky, toward the highs I set my sights on, because I know that I'll reach them. Because I know Because I know
We're ready. We're ready. They're ready. Let's freaking go. Are you? Woo! Let's go. Man, that's been our time, y'all. Understand. We're ready. Time has come. Eagles, Super Bowl 57 champions. About to come aboard, bro.
We greatly appreciate y'all rocking with us this morning. Most likely won't be tomorrow. Of course, we'll be back here Friday, Thursday, and Friday.
On Thursday, y'all know. You see it down at the bottom. Pay attention. Friday, also, I told y'all I'm gonna have a Super Bowl. I'm gonna tell you the Madden Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. See who comes out on top. Again, I won't be playing the game. It's myself. It'll be simulated on Madden 2023. We're doing the exact same thing. If it's possible, we're doing the exact same thing on NBA 2K from the picks in which Trey makes and the picks in which I make.
We appreciate you rocking with us this morning. Be sure to catch us Thursday and Friday right here for all the goodness and greatness in which we is at. Look forward to seeing y'all then. Until then, y'all enjoy y'all week.
Be safe, enjoy, love on someone, hug someone. You know what I'm saying?
No
Life
doubt.
is short.
See y'all Thursday.
Cyro 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. We love you. We out.